Everybody is here now, except her.
She's always late.
Late? She's been acting important ever since father died.
That woman has forgotten her place. A widow.
Exactly.
She wasn't even father's daughter, not by blood.
She only became family because our brother married her. And now she's sitting inside father's house like she owns it.
I heard she's refusing to leave.
She'll leave today.
Finally.
Look who remembered she was invited.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Not there. That's where family sits. Much better. Know your position.
Lawyer, let's begin before another miracle happens.
I hope I am not too late.
Not at all. Please, take your seat.
Three years ago, when Morayo married Tunde Adeyemi, many people in the family believed the marriage would never last. Not because they doubted their love, but because Morayo came from a modest background, while the Adeyemis were one of the wealthiest families in Oyo State. Chief Samuel Adeyemi had built an empire from cocoa plantations, commercial real estate, transport companies, and agricultural investments spread across southwestern Nigeria. His children grew up surrounded by privilege. Morayo did not. She was the daughter of a retired secondary school teacher and a market trader. She spoke gently, dressed simply, and avoided unnecessary attention. To the Adeyemi siblings, she never looked like someone worthy of carrying their family name. Yet, Tunde loved only her. Against the advice of nearly everyone, he married Morayo. Chief Samuel Adeyemi had watched the marriage quietly. Unlike the others, he judged people by character rather than appearance. Over time, he noticed something his own children rarely saw. Whenever he fell ill, it was Morayo who sat beside his hospital bed long after visiting hours ended. Whenever business guests visited unexpectedly, she welcomed them with warmth instead of entitlement. When his arthritis made walking difficult, she personally prepared his herbal compresses every evening without being asked. She never did these things for praise. In fact, many members of the family barely noticed, or perhaps they simply chose not to. Then, tragedy struck. Only 18 months into their marriage, Tunde died suddenly in a devastating highway accident while returning from Abuja. His death shattered Chief Adeyemi. It also transformed Morayo's life overnight. The woman who had once been tolerated as Tunde's wife suddenly became, in the eyes of some relatives, an unwanted reminder of grief. Subtle insults became open humiliation. Family dinners stopped including her. Important meetings happened without informing her. Conversations ended whenever she entered a room. They assumed time would eventually force her to leave. But Morayo remained. Not because she wanted anyone's wealth. Not because she believed the family would ever accept her. She stayed because before Chief Adeyemi died, he had called her into his private studio on a rainy evening. No servants, no children, no witnesses, only the two of them. He handed her an old yellow envelope. Then he spoke words she had never forgotten. No matter what happens after I am gone, don't open this until my whole family is gathered in one room. Morayo had kept that promise for 7 months without telling a single soul. And today, for the very first time, every member of the Adeyemi family was finally sitting together, exactly as Chief Adeyemi had requested. The envelope inside her handbag suddenly felt much heavier than paper, because whatever was written inside had the power to change every life in that room forever.
Thank you all for coming. As requested by the late Chief Samuel Adeyemi, today's meeting concerns the administration of his estate. Before I proceed, is every immediate family member present?
Everyone that matters is here.
Mrs. Morayo Adeyemi, you are also present?
Yes, sir.
My commercial transport company shall pass equally to my sons, Bola and Sola. My cocoa plantations shall be jointly managed by my daughters, Fonmi and Bisi. The family residence shall remain family property and may not be sold without unanimous consent. This section shall only be disclosed after a certain condition has been fulfilled.
What condition?
What condition? Tell us.
It is not yet clear.
The chief wrote, only after every member of my immediate family is seated together, ask Morayo for my final letter.
What? What letter? She's hiding something.
Lawyer!
What nonsense is this?
I'm reading exactly what your father wrote. Impossible. Father never mentioned any letter.
Morayo, what is he talking about?
Answer us! You heard him!
Do you have father's letter?
She actually has it!
I knew it! She's been hiding documents. How dare you keep father's property?
Bring it out, now!
Sir, may I ask one question?
Go ahead.
Did Baba write anything else?
Yes. No one should force her. She alone will decide when my final words are read.
This is ridiculous! She has manipulated father!
Exactly! She probably wrote the letter herself.
Open her bag! Sit down.
My daughter, have you kept your promise?
Every single day.
Then perhaps today is finally the day Samuel speaks again. Well, open it.
Sir, may I?
The decision is yours. Mrs. Morayo, would you like me to read it?
No. Baba wanted my voice.
The silence inside the sitting room was unlike anything the Adeyemi family had ever experienced. Only moments earlier, everyone had believed the meeting would be straightforward. The lawyer would read the will, the assets would be divided, and Morayo would quietly disappear from their lives. Instead, their late father's invisible hand had completely changed the atmosphere. For 7 months, the woman they had mocked, ignored, and treated like an outsider had been carrying something none of them knew existed. Not money, not land documents, not share certificates. A letter. And judging from Chief Adeyemi's precise instructions, it was no ordinary letter. Bola's mind raced through every possible explanation. Had their father discovered a hidden investment? Had he changed his mind about the inheritance after signing the will? Or worse, had he entrusted something valuable to Morayo instead of his own children? Across the room, Funi's confidence began to crack. She remembered every harsh word she had spoken to Morayo since Tunde's funeral. Every family gathering where she deliberately excluded her. Every accusation that Morayo was staying only because she hoped to inherit part of the estate. For the first time, doubt crept into her heart. If their father had trusted Morayo with such an important responsibility, had they completely misunderstood the woman they had spent years despising? Sola refused to entertain that thought. In his mind, there had to be another explanation. Perhaps Morayo had manipulated the old man while he was sick. Perhaps grief had clouded his judgment. Perhaps the letter itself was nothing more than sentimental words that would change nothing. But Pa Moses knew better.
He had been present on the rainy evening when Chief Adeyemi summoned Morayo to his private study. He hadn't heard their conversation, but he had seen something unforgettable as Morayo left the room. The old chief had been crying. Not from pain, not from illness, but from relief. As if he had finally placed an unbearable burden into the hands of the one person he believed would carry it faithfully. Pa Moses asked him later that night, "Samuel, are you certain she's the right person?" Chief Adeyemi had smiled. "When the truth finally comes out, my children will either become a real family or lose each other forever." Back in the sitting room, the yellow envelope rested untouched on the polished wooden table. It was astonishing how something so small could command the attention of an entire room. Everyone stared at it as though it were a locked door. Behind that seal could be forgiveness, or accusation, unity or destruction, inheritance or disgrace. Only one thing was certain. Once that envelope was opened, the Adeyemi family would never be the same again.
If these words are being read, then I have gone to meet my Creator. My children, if you are hearing this letter, it means Morayo has kept the promise I asked of her. That alone should tell you the kind of woman she truly is. Before you judge this letter, remember something. Dead men no longer need lies. For many years, I watched each of you, not your businesses, not your bank accounts, not your expensive clothes. I watched your character. Character is what remains after success disappears. I noticed who visited only when they needed money. I noticed who argued over my properties while I was still alive. I noticed who disappeared whenever I became sick. But I also noticed someone else. A young widow who never asked me for anything. The woman who reminded me to take my medication. The woman who stayed awake through my longest nights. The woman who secretly repaired broken relationships inside this family while expecting no thanks. Many times your sisters stopped speaking to each other. It was Morayo who persuaded them to reconcile. When Bola's first business nearly collapsed, the emergency money that saved him did not come from one of his wealthy friends. It came from Morayo. She sold her late mother's only piece of land. She begged me never to tell you.
No, that's impossible.
When Sola was arrested after that unfortunate incident in Abuja, the lawyer's fees were paid before I even heard the news. Again, Morayo.
She
She asked everyone to believe the money came from an Okonoman's family friend. She protected your pride. Funmi. The surgery that saved your little daughter, the donor who refused to reveal her name, was Morayo. No! She donated because she loved my granddaughter, not because anyone thanked her.
May I continue? If you are shocked, then perhaps you never truly knew the woman you chose to mock.
The atmosphere inside the ancestral home changed so completely that it no longer felt like the same gathering. Just an hour earlier, Morayo had been treated as an unwanted widow, occupying a seat she did not deserve. Every insult had been delivered with confidence, every accusation with certainty. Now, those same voices had fallen silent. The letter had not yet revealed its greatest secret, yet it had already dismantled years of false assumptions. For Bola, the words cut deeper than any public humiliation ever could. He had spent years believing his first successful expansion into the transport industry was the result of his own determination. He had remembered receiving an anonymous financial transfer during the darkest period of his business, just enough to prevent the bank from seizing his vehicles. He had called it luck. Now he realized it had been sacrifice. Not from a wealthy investor, but from the widow he had repeatedly called a burden. Across the room, Zola felt as though the floor had disappeared beneath him. His arrest in Abuja almost ruined his reputation. Someone had quietly settled the legal expenses before the scandal reached the newspapers, allowing him to rebuild his life without public disgrace. He had spent years thanking an imaginary benefactor. The real one
had never asked for recognition. Fumi's heartbreak was perhaps the deepest of all. She remembered kneeling in a hospital chapel, praying desperately for a donor whose identity the doctors refused to reveal. Her daughter had survived because a stranger stepped forward without hesitation. Except she had never been a stranger. Every harsh word Fumi had thrown at Morayo since then echoed painfully in her mind. Every family celebration she had deliberately excluded her from, every whispered insult, every dismissive glance. The guilt became almost unbearable. Only Pa Moses remained unsurprised. He had known for years that Chief Ediami admired Morayo in a way none of his children understood. The old man once told him that true kindness was measured not by public generosity, but by private sacrifice. The good a person did when no applause could ever follow. Morayo embodied that principle. She had quietly carried the burdens of a family that rarely acknowledged her existence. Yet the greatest revelation still lay unread. The remaining pages of Chief Ediami's letter were noticeably thicker. As the lawyer prepared to turn to the next page, his expression changed. His eyes narrowed, then widened. He looked first at the letter, then at Morayo, then back at the stunned faces around the room. There was one sentence ahead that even he had not expected. A sentence capable of turning an inheritance meeting into something far more dangerous. Because Chief Ediami was about to reveal why he trusted Morayo above every member of his own family. And once that truth came out, someone in the room would have everything to lose.
If you are shocked, then perhaps you never truly knew the woman you chose to mock. The next words may offend some of you, but the dead no longer fear offending the living. For years I searched for the one person who loved this family more than our wealth. I found only one. Morayo. Not because she is perfect, but because she remained faithful when she had every reason to leave. Many of you believed I trusted you because you carried my name. You were wrong. Trust is earned, not inherited. There is something none of you know. 18 months before my death, I commissioned an independent forensic audit of every family business.
What? Father investigated us?
I did this because money had begun changing the hearts of my children. What the auditors discovered broke my heart. One of my children has been stealing from this family.
Stealing?
Not once, not twice, for almost 5 years. I therefore entrusted every document to Morayo.
What?
Because I knew she could not be bribed, nor intimidated, nor manipulated. Inside the wooden box I gave her are the complete audit reports, original bank statements, signed contracting records, and evidence sufficient to expose the guilty person.
Wooden box? What wooden box?
I still have it.
You mean you've had evidence all this time? Why didn't you tell us?
Because Baba made me promise. He said wait until everyone is together. Truth should never arrive in pieces.
If you are angry with Morayo, then your anger belongs to me. She obeyed my final instruction exactly. Before the evidence is revealed, I want to give the guilty person one final opportunity. Stand, confess, ask your family for forgiveness. If you do, I have instructed my lawyer to recommend mercy instead of criminal prosecution. The opportunity your father offered remains open. If the guilty person speaks now, I will honor his instruction.
I need to say something.
Brother.
The meeting had changed from a family gathering into something resembling a courtroom. The inheritance no longer occupied anyone's thoughts. The estate, the houses, the businesses, the farmland, none of it seemed important anymore. Only one question remained. Who had betrayed Chief Adeyemi?
Bola replayed the last 5 years in his mind. Every business transaction, every board meeting, every financial decision. He searched desperately for something that could explain his father's accusations, yet found nothing that implicated him. At least nothing intentional. Across the room, Fumi remembered subtle disagreements between her father and some of the company's senior managers. There had been occasions when Chief Adeyemi quietly requested additional financial reports, only to dismiss the subject whenever anyone asked why. At the time, everyone assumed that he was simply becoming more cautious with age. Now the truth emerged. He had already begun investigating. Sola was barely able to remain seated. His breathing had become uneven. Every sentence from the letter seemed to tighten an invisible rope around his chest. Morayo noticed. She had noticed long before this day. Months earlier, while cleaning the late chief's study after the funeral, she discovered the small locked wooden box exactly where he instructed her to find it, hidden behind an old collection of law books inside a concealed compartment. She never opened it. Not once. The temptation had been immense. Answers lay only a key turn away. Yet she remembered the promise she made that rainy evening. Truth loses its power when curiosity breaks trust. So she wrapped the box in plain fabric, locked it inside a steel cabinet in her modest apartment, and waited. 7 long months. She never imagined that waiting would earn her more insults, suspicion, and loneliness than she had ever known. Still, she kept her word. Because to her, a promise to the dead carried the same weight as a promise to the living. Pa Moses looked around the room and quietly understood something the others had yet to grasp. Chief Adeyemi had designed this entire meeting with remarkable wisdom. The will distributed wealth. The letter exposed character. But the invitation to confess, that was the true inheritance. It was the old man's final attempt to save not just his businesses, but his children from becoming prisoners of their own greed. As silence stretched on, the guilty person remained seated. The opportunity for mercy still hung in the air, but with every passing second, that door was slowly closing. And once it closed, the wooden box waiting in Morayo's apartment would speak with evidence that no denial could ever silence.
I didn't steal father's money, but I wasn't innocent either. About 4 years ago, I discovered irregular payments in one of our transport accounts. Millions of naira. I confronted someone about it. Who?
Don't you dare!
I asked you where the money was going. You said father approved the payment.
Because he did! I wanted to verify it. You begged me not to.
You said exposing it would disgrace the family. I convinced myself everything was fine. I chose silence because you were my brother.
Sola, tell us he's lying.
So, everything is my fault now? This is exactly what you wanted.
No,
You wanted us to hate each other.
never.
Liar! Ever since Tunde died, you've been pretending to be innocent, pretending to be holy, pretending to be father's favorite. Enough. You think this letter makes you better than us? You think?
Sola, if I wanted to destroy you, I would have opened the wooden box 7 months ago. Every day, I prayed that before this meeting, you would come to me, confess, and ask Baba's lawyer for help. I never wanted today to happen. The wooden box is still locked, exactly as Baba left it. I have never opened it, not once.
You've never looked inside?
A promise is still a promise, even when nobody is watching.
Mr. Sola Adeyemi, for the final time, would you like to confess before the evidence is produced?
I'm tired.
Father was right. I did it. It started with one payment, just one. I told myself I'd return the money, but business failed. Then I borrowed more, then more. To hide it, I created fake suppliers, fake contracts, fake invoices. Every lie needed another lie, until I couldn't escape anymore.
You knew, didn't you?
Baba told me enough to pray for you.
Not to judge you.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. For Father, for Tunde, for all of you.
And?
Morayo, I'm most sorry to you.
Because?
I hated the only person who was trying to save me.
Confession changed the atmosphere in a way punishment never could. For months, the Adeyemi family had imagined that if the guilty person were ever exposed, they would respond with anger, condemnation, and demands for justice. Instead, they found themselves grieving, not only for the money that had been stolen, but for the slow erosion of trust that had allowed fear and pride to grow unchecked within their family. Sola had not begun as a hardened criminal. Years earlier, he was an ambitious young businessman determined to prove himself he deserved to stand alongside his older brother. But a failed investment left him drowning in debt. Ashamed to admit his mistakes to his father, he convinced himself that borrowing from the family business would be temporary. Temporary became habitual. Habit became deception, and deception became a prison. Each forged signature solved yesterday's problem while creating tomorrow's disaster. Chief Adeyemi had uncovered the truth long before anyone else. Yet, rather than exposing his son publicly, he chose one final act of fatherhood. He gathered undeniable evidence, placed it beyond the reach of manipulation, and entrusted it to the one person he believed would neither exploit it nor conceal it for selfish gain. That person was never chosen because she was the eldest, the wealthiest, or the most influential. She was chosen because she could be trusted. Morayo had carried that burden in silence for 7 months. Every insult she endured could have been answered by opening the box. Every accusation could have been silenced with a single document. Yet she refused. She valued integrity more than vindication. Across the room, Fumi replayed countless memories with fresh eyes. The woman she had dismissed as weak had displayed a strength none of them possessed. Bola recognized that leadership was measured not by authority, but by the courage to confront uncomfortable truths. Even Auntie Ronke, whose sharp tongue had wounded Morayo more than once, found herself unable to meet the young widow's gaze. Pa Moses, however, knew the story was not yet over. Confession fulfilled only half the Chief Adeyemi's final plan. The letter had exposed hidden hearts. The confession had opened the door to repentance, but one last instruction remained, unread. The final page. The page Chief Adeyemi had folded separately before sealing the envelope. The page the lawyer had deliberately left until the truth emerged. As he slowly unfolded it, a gentle smile crossed his face. Whatever was written there was different. Not an accusation, not a warning, a blessing. And before the night ended, Morayo, the widow who had entered the meeting as an outsider, would finally receive something far greater than an inheritance. She would finally receive the family she had quietly loved all along.
If you have reached this final page, then the truth has finally found its way home. If the guilty person has confessed, do not celebrate his shame. Help him carry the burden of rebuilding his life. If he refused to confess, then let justice take its course. To my son who has admitted his wrongdoing, remember, your worst mistake should never become your permanent identity. Stand up again. End back trust one honest day at a time. To Bola, leadership begins where excuses end. Protect your brother. Correct him when necessary. Never abandon him. To Funmi and BC, do not allow pride to divide sisters again. Finally, to my daughter.
No, he means Bissy.
No, he specifically wrote, my daughter, Morayo. The day Tunde brought you into this family, I gained another child. The day I lost my son, I feared I would lose my daughter too. Thank you for staying. Thank you for loving people who did not always know how to love you back.
I'm sorry. Please don't. No, let me say it. I judged you, I mocked you, I shut you out. And all this time, you were protecting us. Can you ever forgive me?
I forgave you a long time ago.
Morayo, I'm an old woman. I should have known better. Can you forgive me too?
We're family, that's enough.
There's one last line. Keep this letter, not as evidence of my death, but as a reminder that families survive because someone chooses forgiveness before everyone deserves it. Samuel chose well, very well. Tonight, your father didn't leave you wealth. He gave you another chance to become a family.
In the weeks that followed, Chief Adeyemi's final wishes were carried out with a sincerity that surprised even those closest to him. The locked wooden box was opened in the presence of the lawyer, Pa Moses, and every immediate family member. Inside were neatly organized audit reports, original bank records, correspondence with forensic accountants, and a handwritten note confirming that every document had been gathered to establish the truth, not to destroy a son, but to give him one final opportunity to choose honesty. Because Sola confessed before the evidence had to be used against him, the family honored his father's request. Rather than pursuing criminal charges, they reached a formal settlement. Sola surrendered properties he had secretly acquired with the stolen funds, sold personal investments to repay the company, and accepted permanent removal from every financial decision within the family business. It was not an easy road. Trust did not return in one day, but unlike before, Sola no longer hid behind lies. He reported his progress every month, worked under independent financial supervision, and slowly rebuilt his reputation through consistent honesty instead of clever explanations. Bola also changed. He realized that protecting a family did not mean avoiding difficult conversations. He introduced transparent accounting systems, appointed external auditors, and ensured that no single individual could ever control the finances without oversight again. Fumi often visited Morayo, not out of obligation, but out of genuine affection. The two women who once struggled to remain in the same room became inseparable. Whenever Fumi looked at her daughter laughing with Morayo, she quietly thanked God for the woman she had almost pushed out of the family forever. Even Auntie Rompe softened with age. She became the first to defend Morayo whenever distant relatives referred to her as just the widow. No, she would say with quiet pride, she is our daughter. Several months later, on Tunde's birthday, the entire family gathered at his graveside. No arguments, no suspicion, no whispers about inheritance, only flowers, prayers, and shared memories. After the prayers ended, Bola turned to Morayo with an envelope. Inside was not money, not a property deed. It was a new certificate issued by the family board. At the top, in bold letters, were the words Morayo Adeyemi, family trustee and director of the Samuel Adeyemi Foundation. The foundation would provide scholarships for widows, support struggling small businesses, and sponsor children who had lost a parent,
causes close to both Tunde's and Chief Adeyemi's hearts. Morayo accepted the certificate with tears in her eyes, not because of the title, but because she finally understood what Chief Adeyemi had been protecting all along. He had never entrusted her with a letter because she was the strongest. He entrusted her because she was the safest place for the truth. Some inherit houses, some inherit businesses, some inherit fortunes. Morayo inherited something far more valuable: a father's confidence, a family's respect, and a legacy built not on wealth, but on integrity. Because in the end, the greatest inheritance is never what we leave to people. It is what we leave inside them. Sometimes the quietest person in the room is carrying the heaviest responsibility. Morayo could have exposed everyone to defend herself, yet she chose patience, integrity, and forgiveness. In the end, those choices changed an entire family. Sweetest folks, if this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments. If you were Morayo, would you have kept the father's secret for 7 months, or would you have revealed the truth immediately? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sweetest African Folktales, where every story touches lives, every lesson stays with you, and every ending leaves you thinking. Until our next story, stay kind, stay wise, and remember, character is the inheritance that never loses its value.